From almost being crowned MVP to just missing out Defensive Player of the Year, the iconic regular season awards gets voted in before the start of every playoffs. Whatever happens in postseason play becomes irrelevant. Otherwise, Rudy Gobert be asked to hand back his Defensive Player of the Year trophy. When we search up the award winners on the internet, generations a few decades from now won't remember any of the second or third place finishers. Has some of the all-time greats gotten extra awards, it probably won't mean much to their legacies, but something unique to add to their trophy cases. How close were these certain all-timers to winning some of the other trophies? Starting with one of the greatest closers, Mr. Clutch, the late great Jerry West, finished second for MVP 4 different times, the closest he's gotten 1970 when Willis Reed won it with a relatively healthy 60-win Knicks squad. First year Lou Alcindor collected 31st place votes while West Lakers only won 46 games, but superstar Wilt, hampered by a knee injury, played just a dozen games. Elgin Baylor missed 28. The scoring champ averaged nearly 10 more points than Willis, given his decade-long success in the league and rising his game to another level when his stars out. Given the MVP handed to mostly big men back then, West himself said he voted for rookie Alcindor. West's Lakers proceeded to lose to New York in 7, most remembered for still being the greatest player in league history to never win Most Valuable Player. George Gervin missed out on the 1978 MVP. Since the start of last season, major award winners needed to play a minimum 65 games to qualify. Bill Walton's first place Blazers won a league best 58 games, 50-8 when he suited up. Given Blazer Mania fresh off a championship, supposed to be the next dynasty, Walton remembered for his magnificent all-around display. Gervin did play all 82 games, 52 wins, a 27-point score, but never great on defense. His name a little swept under the rug. The 12-time All-Star, one of the most forgotten top 75 players. The award, of course, more favorable to big men in past decades, given today's standards and the pure definition of availability. Iceman would have gotten it. His legacy would have been elevated even higher. 1983, first season to present Defensive Player of the Year. Believe it or not, Larry Bird finished in the third place tie, earning 6 first place votes behind Sidney Moncrief and Tree Rollins. So much for the casuals that thought Bird can't play D. Ironically, Bird and Rollins only made second team All-NBA. Remember for his all-around offensive display, Larry Legend did make 3 defensive second teams from 81 to 83. Despite his lack of quickness, wasn't the best one-on-one defender, but a perfect free safety, high-level anticipation, calling out plays in advance, and rotating, knowing where to be at all times. Charles Barkley, 1986, most improved player, second place to also second year Alvin Robertson, who was named an All-Star, already a double-double machine at 20 and 13 for a 54-win squad, arguably Philly's second-best player behind Moses. The first year the award took place, Robertson also became Defensive Player of the Year, led the league in steals. His numbers increased more significantly than Barkley's, having a stronger impression, but had his own problems. Derailing of what would have been a Hall of Fame career, Barkley proceeded to win league MVP, remembered for being one of the greatest power forwards all time. John Stockton, second place for most improved player behind center Kevin Duckworth. The big man went from 5-3 averages to 16-7, while Stockton, a bit of an unknown first 3 seasons, averaged no more than 8 points a game, went on to put up 15 and 14 assists. Even more dimes than Magic Johnson, went on to breaking the NBA record for dimes in the season, added 3 steals, good for third in the league, shot a staggering 57.5% shooting, the second best figure for a guard all time. Stock didn't make the All-Star team, but earned All-NBA second team honors, 10th place in MVP votes, proceeded to make the All-Star team each of the next 9 seasons. Hakeem Olajuwon, a vote short of being a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year winner, Rodman 3 votes short. Mark Eaton edged out both in the most competitive race all time. Dreamy became the first player to record 200 blocks and 200 steals in a season, while leading the league in rebounds. 213 steals, Eaton just 40. Both played all 82 games. Given the years between 85 to 91, Dream in his absolute athletic prime averaged 2.1 steals and 3.6 blocks. It's an absolute travesty. Olajuwon didn't win a single Defensive Player of the Year award until '93, led the league in defensive rating each year between 87 to 91. 1990, Most Improved Player, Reggie Miller second place, came up 7 points short of Ronnie Cycli, having a much higher win share. The big man went from 10.9 points as a rookie to 16.6. Reggie in year 3 actually made his first All-Star team, went from 16 point score to Indy's clear-cut best player at 24.6. Miami finished with just 18 wins. Unfortunately, that was as close as Uncle Reg got to winning any individual major award. His game and brilliance, recognized as a three-point pioneer 2 decades ahead of his time, earned himself in the NBA's top 75 spot. Penny Hardaway with the Orlando Magic, traded for draftmate Chris Webber, one of the closest Rookie of the Year races. Both Golden State and Orlando 50 wins each. See Webb obviously, the more accomplished career. While Penny dealt with severe injuries, derailed his greatness after the '96 season, Webber's prime cut short after the devastating ACL tear in 2003. Penny, unfortunately, not in the Hall of Fame. Had he won the Rookie of the Year, perhaps he would have gotten in, but we'll never know how much that one award would have helped his legacy. Webber was eventually gonna make the Hall regardless of what he accomplished year 1. Kobe Bryant, 1998 six-man runner-up. Which many didn't know, had Del Harris just simply gave his teenage phenom more minutes, Bryant would have easily averaged closer to 20 points. Former #1 pick Danny Manning wanted. The big man already in his early 30s, both played in elite teams, Manning having the luxury to play with Jason Kidd, Rex Chapman, and Antonio McDyess. 56-win Suns helped increase his team's win total by 16. Phoenix didn't have him the previous year. Kobe had Shaq, Nick Van Exel, and Eddie Jones. The 19-year-old even selected as an all-star starter. A humble Kobe congratulated the vet for the award, but quickly after, Manning, already on the decline, averaged single digits each of his next 5 seasons. Kobe's greatness only got started, later became the face of the NBA. Alonzo Mourning nearly won MVP in 1999, shortened lockout season, a 3-man race between Karl Malone, Zo, and Tim Duncan. Miami earned the best record in the East. San Antonio and Utah tied with 37 wins. A great center overshadowed by Shaq. Both came out the same class. O'Neal came into that season out of shape, allowing Mourning to capitalize, making All-NBA first team before his kidneys derailed him during his prime. Mourning's hard work drove him to become one of the league's best players. If Zo had won the MVP, perhaps he'd go down as a top 75 player. Dirk Nowitzki, very close to winning Most Improved Player, 7 votes short of Jalen Rose. The German 7-footer went from averaging 8.2 points to 17.5, became a rising star as a 21-year-old, becoming the tallest player to participate in the 3-point shootout. Rose, on the other hand, went from an 11-point scorer to over 18 a game, led the finals-bound Pacers in scoring. The 14-time All-Star retired as the greatest European to ever put on an NBA uniform, a pioneer, becoming the greatest 7-foot outside sniper the game's ever seen. Jason Kidd, 2002 MVP, lost to Duncan 57 to 45 votes. San Antonio finished off the season winning a dozen straight, while Kidd doubled his team's wins from the season before. New Jersey's only new addition, his trade for multiple-time All-Star Stephon Marbury from bottom shelf of the East to finals bound. His overall numbers might not look impressive, but considering the era he played in, nobody in the 2000s maximized their role players more so than Kidd himself, one of those greats whose impact goes beyond the stat sheet. Dwyane Wade finished second place for Most Improved Player, not quite close to Bobby Simmons. Known for having one of the biggest one-year wonder seasons, Wade solidified himself as a true superstar, averaged 24, 5, and 7, clearly Miami's best player during those playoffs. Simmons won it on a losing Clippers team, later signed with the Bucks, played 10 total seasons, just one of the 2 times he's averaged double figures, impressively doubling his point average, given the green light to do whatever. LA ended up way better without him the following season. Wade, on the other hand, won himself a Finals MVP less than 14 months after 2005's award announced. Stephen Curry, Rookie of the Year runner-up, not having the greatest career start, wasn't the first option on a bad team led by Monte Ellis, who attempted 8 more shots than the future all-time great. Sacramento, on the other hand, utilized Tariq Evans' strength, played with the ball in his hands, becoming the 4th rookie to average 25 and 5. Curry played much better towards the end of his rookie campaign before finally breaking out in 2013. Never looked back since. Evans then forced to switch positions. The two's career trajectory couldn't have gone any different. Same season, Aaron Brooks won Most Improved Player over Kevin Durant. Given Yao and T-Mac's injuries, handed the keys to the offense, averaged nearly 20 points, but the third-year superstar became the youngest scoring champ, made first-team All-NBA, second in MVP voting, from not even being an All-Star year 2 in the loaded West, led his young Thunder to 50 wins. Brooks got the benefit of the doubt on a depleted roster, while Durant went from very good to godly. OKC increased their win total by 27 games, becoming the first player since Jordan to have 25 points in more than 25 consecutive games. Many media outlets strongly believed the 21-year-old had a strong case for the award. LeBron James, 2013 Defensive Player runner-up. The one award he wished he would have won more than anything. Looking back at his extraordinary career, at the peak of his regular season powers, unstoppable on both ends, 9 players have 5 or more votes. If anyone was to ask what regrets LeBron have, not winning Defensive Player of the Year once will forever bug him. Just like when Giannis edged him out for 2020's MVP, also winning DPOY the same season, James extremely upset. Gasol ended up making defensive second team and James didn't win it. Prime Bron clearly the best help defender guarding 1 to 5. Countless of timely moments all playoffs to blocking bigs like Tiago Splitter and Tim Duncan, keeping up with quick guards like Tony Parker. Memphis #1 defensive rating. Memphis did win 56 games of their own. James's near perfect season ruined. Some will go as far as blaming Marc Gasol for holding a stain for LeBron's GOAT argument. Andre Iguodala, 3 first-place votes short of Eric Gordon's 6-man 2017, started all 76 games off the bench, also finished second place behind Jamal Crawford the season before. Many felt Drake's unselfishness allowed Golden State to take off to another level. The high IQ, defense, and playmaking, often in the game in crunch time, a winning Swiss Army knife. Iggy still might have done enough to become a future Hall of Famer, but having that 6-man award to his collection would have strengthened his case by a slight margin. Also 2017, the league's future literally was in front of our eyes. Giannis won Most Improved Player, but second place none other than the Serbian sensation 21-year-old Nikola Jokic, who made huge noise after his rookie year, averaged 17, 10, and 5 on insane efficiency for a good 4 years. One of these two players went on to win MVP between 2019 to 2022, and Joker arguably should have also gotten it in 2023. We might never see another scenario where 2 Most Improved finalists became the league's 2 best players, each with a championship, arguably both top 15 players all time before turning 30. Brook Lopez, a real dread winning Defensive Player of the Year at age 34, proving anything's possible, literally viewed a defensive liability a decade before. Many thought he was going to be out the league after 2018 before reinventing himself in Milwaukee. Insanely disciplined at the rim, the perfect 5 to pair up with Giannis all these years, coming off back surgery, but the younger Triple J, just the better all-around defender. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, from second place Most Improved to second in the MVP race, a proven superstar, but many knew he was already a star. While Larry Marketing went from a trade piece to possible franchise player, balled out in Utah, some even labeled him a bust. SGA's leap, very anticipated, would have been cool to have hoisted his first individual trophy, but potential MVP and Finals MVP awards should be on the horizon. Crazy to think how different NBA history could have been if some of these legends had taken home these awards. Which one of these near misses would you have liked to see actually happen? 6-man Kobe, Rookie of the Year Steph Curry, or Defensive Player of the Year LeBron? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe for more incredible topics. Until next time.